It wasn't just an offer. Believe me, I worked hard at getting that role.
What I mean is, was it a hard, not was it a hard decision, but I mean, Grease was at the time was so iconic. Go
Right.
into the sequel to like to be part of a sequel. It seemed like it would have been great at the same time, but also it
Yeah.
would have been like, oh, it's a sequel to like the expectations had to have been so high.
Yeah. I mean, we were all under the gun there. And God, I'm actually glad it was really Maxwell and Michelle on the cover. And it kind of like all of the pressure was really more on them. And honestly, there wasn't very much pressure on me other than to put my Danny Zuko on film and have fun. And Pat Birch gave me carte blanche with that show. She just let me do whatever I wanted to do. And eventually, when I went overboard, she said, "That's a little too much, Adrian." She was, again, I think I mentioned to you, I don't know whether it was on camera or it was just before we went on and you were taping, but we're honoring Pat Birch for a Lifetime Achievement Award in theater, and as incredibly well deserved and all. And she was my champion. They wanted, because Maxwell and Michelle really weren't huge stars at that time. They needed, other than the teachers who were iconic stars, in their own right, they wanted a rock star in my role. The producers, Robert Stigwood and Alan Carr. Pat wanted me to do Johnny badly. She knew after all the Grease that I had done that I would be able to kind of like infuse the Broadway show into the T-Birds if I was one of the T-Birds and everything. And she just strategically she would send me into audition every time they auditioned a rock star, right after they went in, the one who was the front runner to become Johnny. And I would always outdo them. And every time they said, "All right, it's still his. All right, it's still his." About 10 auditions later, they finally said, "All right, it's his."